Greetings to all of you, pilgrims of hope. Seeds of synodality began to be planted in the Diocese of San Diego under the leadership of now Cardinal Robert McElroy. I've known the Cardinal for over 35 years, and he invited me to coordinate two diocesan synods in 2016 and 2019 on Amoris Laetitia and Christus Vivit, respectively. Both synods involve listening sessions, primarily through parish or deanery groupings, and working groups in preparation for each General Assembly. Diocesan synods and their preparations are often synodal in process. However, often strategic or pastoral plans are delegated to the implementation group, where a few people make decisions, and sometimes the synodal process is compromised. Listening sessions and working groups became key ingredients in our diocesan process. This proved very helpful in soliciting input from our parishes for this Universal Synod on synodality. 1,100 plus listening sessions were held throughout the diocese with over 11,000 participants. We also conducted a survey coordinated with sociologists from the University of San Diego, a Catholic university with over 27,000 participants. Parishes were asked to review their parish synthesis and begin to focus on some areas which they wanted to address. At the conclusion of the 2023 session of the Synod on Synodality, Cardinal McElroy returned and proposed to the Presbyteral Council that he invite some pastors to explore what is known as reimagining parish life and leadership in a synodal church. They supported his idea. The Cardinal invited me to coordinate this with Auxiliary Bishop Felipe Pulido, and he invited 16 pastors to be pilot parishes, all of whom said yes. However, I said to Bishop Pulido, saying yes to the Cardinal is one thing, but was no an option. I suggested that we meet with each of the pastors in their respective parishes. Two concerns were clear. We have a lot on our desk, and how do we deal with misinformation about synodality? One pastor with whom we met had a question as we began. "When is this over?" he said. "It has no endpoint," I said. "This is about you sowing seeds for a new way of being pastor and your community being church. It is about changing culture. Your greatest legacy as a pastor will be how you infuse synodality into the life and the leadership of the parish." In response to these pastor visits and their concerns about a lot on their desk, we invited the pastors to select a coordinator for the reimagining teams, a person they trusted, a leader in the community, one they could delegate to, and one who is open to the spirit of synodality even if they have no idea what it is. This person coordinates all aspects of the team. The Holy Spirit was at work in the selection of the coordinators on whose shoulders this initiative is extremely successful. With regard to misinformation, I suggested that we just go about the process, and by word of mouth will hopefully change people's minds. And this is slowly happening. However, I'm also aware that some minds may never be changed. Bishop Pulido said early on in his process, "We have listened much to the concerns of our people, and not to respond will leave people all the more disappointed. As we prepared to move forward in the pilot phase, I suggested that we move away from using the phrase listening sessions. Now we use the word consultation between clergy and laity in our ongoing deliberations and discernment." We provided 8 themes which Pope Francis often referred to in creating a culture of synodality. Through conversations in the Spirit and discernment, the teams over 4 sessions would reflect on 2 of the themes at each meeting focused on parish life and leadership. At the end of the 4 sessions, there would be one goal under each theme for parish life and parish leadership. In the 5th meeting, the teams would select one goal among the 8 under parish life and the same under leadership. Action steps would be included in these 2 goals, and these goals would be presented to the bishop at the annual Reimagining Parish Convocation. As one goal is moving forward, other goals would be chosen. The second cohort is a bit different. Some of the parishes we were in dialogue with did not have pastoral councils. I then suggested that rather than forming a reimagining team, they form a reimagining council. Start small in numbers and embrace the values of creating a synodal culture, and later invite others to join the council once the core values of synodality are established. Reimagining teams and councils now constitute 39 parishes, representing more than 1/3 of the parishes in the diocese, with over 400 participants in a year and a half. Adaptation and flexibility are also key to success. One example is that a large parish had a reimagining team of 7, and the pastor, who is also chair of the Presbyteral Council, which will come into benefit us later on, asked if the team could become part of the new pastoral council, which was their leadership goal. I said yes. The 7 team members are now infused into a pastoral council of 16. The next issue I would like to address is that of synodal succession. When one pastor who is very involved in the reimagining process is moving or retiring, who takes his place? It must be someone who is open to continuing to support the initiative in the parish if it has the reimagining initiative. The second part of this conversation is that in the naming of a new pastor for the first time, must be invited in the interview to continue the initiative or begin it in a parish that it has not been acting before. To create a synodal culture, brothers and sisters, is not an option. I echo the words of Archbishop Dabula Mpako of Pretoria, South Africa, who recently said, "Synodality has deep roots in Vatican II and stresses that this is the Church's current pastoral direction, not an optional initiative." In my country, there is great division about synodality, most significantly among bishops and other clergy. However, Pope Leo, in a September interview, shared that synodality is an antidote to polarization. Through my process and all I have learned in this could not be more true. As pilgrims of hope, may we be open to the Holy Spirit, the protagonist of synodality, and persevere in becoming beacons of hope in our church and in the challenging times in our world. And may the peace of the risen Lord be with all of you always.